What's up? This is John from John Rents 4 Photography, and recently on Instagram I threw out a Q&A for you all and you gave me a whole bunch of questions. So I wanted to just kind of off the cuff answer your questions to get to know me a little bit better, to get to know me as a photographer, and yeah, we'll just kind of make it simple and easy and answer your questions. If you're new to the channel as well and you haven't checked out any of my stuff on Instagram at all, make sure to follow the link for my Instagram. I'm a wedding photographer mainly, been doing it for 6 years, and I'm also a Fujifilm photographer, which there's not too many of us, especially shooting weddings. So yeah, subscribe to the channel if you're looking for information about running your own photography business, taking photos and or Fujifilm cameras. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into some of these questions. So we got a question here from Aluminum Photos, which says, why Fujifilm? They say that Sony is a great competitor for Fuji. So I do have a video that I put out a while ago, which I'll link up at the top above, about why I chose Fujifilm for wedding photography and photography in general. But to keep it nice and short, honestly, it's super fun shooting with Fujifilm. Fuji just really brought back the love of photography for me, and also it's capable, it's light, it's cheap comparative to some of these larger full frame cameras, so it just made a lot of sense as a wedding photographer, and the photos still look really amazing. So that would be my quick answer, but again, make sure to check out that video of the reasons why I switched to Fujifilm as well. Fred Fern asks, just one Fujifilm camera and lens for absolutely everything. That's a hard choice. So I tend to shoot prime only, and I would rather have a prime lens. However, a zoom, if I only had one lens, would be best. But I would say personally, just an X-T3 and the 35 f2. I love that lens. I use it so much, and I feel like that focal range is good for portraits. I can step back and get wides. I can get everything I need. It lets in enough light. So yeah, an X-T3 and the 35 f2. Capturement asks, what do you do to improve your photography skills? So for that, honestly, it's going to workshops to learn more. A lot of the times it's more business-based, but also I do go to some creative workshops every now and then. I try to go to like maybe one a year or so. Obviously this year is a different story because of COVID, but usually I'll go to at least one photography workshop a year. Also just looking at other people's work and figuring out what kind of techniques they're doing to get the look that they have, and then just practicing from there. I think the biggest thing is just always to be shooting. Like shoot sessions all the time and try things different from your norm. That's the biggest thing that I would suggest to kind of improve on your current skills. So Nilo Hodge Photography, or Nilo Hodge Photo, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. He asks, in your experience, what are the ups and downs of traveling to other states to do shoots for weddings? So I have some fun stories when it comes to shooting weddings in other states. I'd say the downs of it is obviously the travel itself. So just to give you a little short story, what happened to me one time is that I had a wedding in like upstate New York and I'm in North Carolina. So I'm like, cool, I have some time to get there. I'm gonna hang out with the family and maybe take a later day flight, so like 3 p.m. or something like that. So the flight was supposed to go from North Carolina to JFK in New York, and then JFK to Syracuse. So the JFK to Syracuse flight got canceled because of weather, and then the North Carolina flight kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And because of that, I went ahead and just rented a car and drove the whole way. It was like 10 hours. By the time I got up there, since I was leaving so late, mind you, it was like 3 to 4 p.m., all I had was enough time to get 2 hours of sleep, wake up and do the wedding the next day. So now every time I leave for a wedding, I leave the day before, first thing in the morning. So if it's a Saturday wedding, I leave on Friday at like 4 a.m. and I'm gonna make sure that I'm in the area of the wedding the day before. But then I'm just stuck, you know, like in another town by myself in a hotel with nothing to do. I always go to restaurants and be eating by myself. You know, you're just sitting there like, ooh, and everyone's looking at, why is this guy eating by himself? So that would be the downs of doing weddings in other states. The ups is getting all types of different looks in your photos. One thing that I was very worried about with moving back to North Carolina was only having barns and fields for weddings. Whereas in New York, you have like more city vibes, you have more brick, you have really cool stuff like that. So the biggest up is being able to get some different views and some different looks in your photos rather than it just being whatever is big in the area. Steph Ducey asks, 50 mil versus 85 versus 35, which one is the best for wedding photography? So I think it's a use case scenario of what you're taking photos for. If I was gonna pick one in general of what gets used most, I would probably say a 35. With wedding photography, you're trying to capture the scenes of everything that's happening, and a 35 is wide enough to be able to do that, to capture the couple and things happening near to them, the party, the ceremony, the details, so on and so forth. But honestly, you do need probably at least a 50 or 85 to do any nice portraits and or close-ups of things. So to kind of like answer the question offhand, 35 and 50 I think is best. But if I were to just choose one, I would say 35. Lawshoots asks, beside photography and gaming, what other hobbies do you have? So I don't have a lot of time for hobbies nowadays, which is very sad. I have 3 kids. I'm the sole provider of income in the house. So if I'm doing something, usually it's to make money. But aside from making money, I absolutely love to draw. I don't get to do it enough. And I also play saxophone, so music. I went to school for music production and sound design. So if I ever have a chance to make some music or play my saxophone, I do try and get in there and do that. I actually really want to buy a bass guitar and learn that as well. But yet again, I don't have a lot of time. So I guess drawing and music and dance. I used to be a b-boy. I used to break dance and all that good stuff. So I don't know if I can do it anymore. Put on a little bit too many pounds, but those are my other hobbies outside of photo and games. SM Photography 100 asks, when are you going to post more BTS wedding videos? And the sad answer is when there are more weddings. Obviously, we all know the pandemic kind of shut down weddings for a while, so I won't have like a normal wedding for a hot minute now. So that probably won't happen for a while. Also too, I'm probably gonna keep a lot of the BTS going forward in my Patreon and have it really detailed. So expect at least 2 to 3 more, but there's not gonna be one like every other month or something like that. Johan is it asks, how can I improve my social skills during shoots? So honestly, that's probably one of the hardest ones. And I would say aside from reading some books and also just practicing speaking to people, also making YouTube videos can really help you out with your social skills. In my opinion, being able to talk to a random camera in a room by yourself and still feel natural is probably the best, hands down, to get your social skills up. So making YouTube videos, reading some books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, different things of that sort will really help you out with your social skills. And then just talking to people all the time. You gotta do it, you gotta figure out what to say. I've been lucky enough to have practice in different positions I've held in my work in the past, being at Squarespace, being a team lead. I had to talk to people all the time in difficult situations, networking with people all the time, trying to get your name out there. When I used to work at Apple and I had to talk to different customers all the time, stuff like that has helped me over time. But yeah, it's something you just have to practice for a while. It's not the easiest to just be like, there I am, social skills. Ken DeCrosta asks, have you ever used the Fuji 16mm f2.8, and if so, what are your thoughts on the lens? So I actually bought the 16 2.8 pretty recently, and now it's my main wide lens. I absolutely love it for video. It's great for photo as well. It doesn't let in as much light as I would like, but obviously it's 2.8. But aside from that, it's great. I'll actually throw up a couple of pictures here for you all to see kind of how it works, some of the shots I've taken with it. I absolutely love the lens, and especially for video, it's just the focusing is so good. I used to use the 14 2.8 and I just can't stand the focusing system, so I like it. If only it was like 16 f2 or something, because the 16 f1.4 has that old focusing system and I don't really like it. So JPEG JR, I'm gonna call it, says, my abilities to frame a subject and have proper composition sucks. How can I improve? So that's yet again just gonna be practice. One thing that I do is I throw up the lines in my viewfinder that helps me kind of compose stuff. Also, you all have seen I really like a nice center weighted focus, but that's mainly because I shoot couples, so they are the focus of the photo and I like that to be dead center. Sometimes I will use the rule of thirds, but you know, read up on the rule of thirds, read up on composition, and then just try different things. Also looking at others' works, so photographers that you look up to, look at that work, look at how they compose their shots, and try and practice that. There's nothing wrong with learning from someone else's style, just don't straight up copy it. And yeah, that's it for the Q&A. Thank you all for hanging out. I hope some of those answers were cool, and throw some more questions in the comments below and I'll make sure to get to you all. I always love doing stuff like this. I love answering questions, so please, seriously, shoot me some questions. Sometimes I take a little bit of time to get back to you, but I love to answer questions and teach and help others. Thank you again for hanging out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more information, more creative entrepreneurship stuff, more photography stuff, and I will catch you all next time. All right, peace.